I mean, I can just do it on the computer. That's fine. Okay. 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 So yes, Cameron, yeah, sure. All of that. So I work with my husband, Ben, and we are the operating managers and or operating principal and brokers over at the Eagle Mountain office, the KW Cedar Valley office. So we have a team of agents who work out of our office. Yeah, I don't know. What else do you want to know about me? But
how long have you been doing it?
Oh, good question. So I got licensed in 2012, but I didn't actually, it was kind of like a side hustle for a while. I actually went inactive status for a year. Okay, it was a really bad year to get started in real estate. I mean, people who did get real estate or who got started in that year and made it through like are millionaires now. Because in downturns, there's really big, huge opportunities. But I was a school teacher at the time, and I was like, I have this summer to hit it big. I got my first listing, and then they ended up canceling because it just wasn't working out the numbers for them. And so then I went back to teach. So anyway, and then I put my license on inactive. And then about a year or so later, one of my friends who I taught with, she's like, hey, Courtney, you have your license, right? Your real estate license? I was like, yeah. And she's like, well, I don't really want to call anyone else because I don't want to like be pressured into buying anything, but is there any chance you can help me open a door? I was like, sure, this was like, I don't know, Monday or something. Like, give me till Thursday. I had to activate my license, get a key because we didn't have the apps back then. It was like a physical key that we had to like go down to the board and get for the Supra. And that kind of springboarded my real estate. It was like, I just needed Mickey in my life. So I helped her buy, helped her sell. And then that just kind of went from there. So I was a school teacher. I used to teach high school English, and I left teaching in 2016. And that's when I went full-time into real estate. Yeah. So, and then my husband, we also owned a construction company. We own a construction company. And so he used to travel and build LDS churches. And in 2014, 15, he came home, and it was like crazy for us to just like say, okay, we're just going to quit that. I was like, come home, let's do real estate. And he's like, really? Yeah. Okay. And that's like nuts. I was like the one who's always like looking at the budget, making sure everything's going to work out. He was working on a project in Texas, and then we had some lined up after that. He gave them all away to some of his competitors and moved and came home. And then we both got into real estate. So he worked for Woodside Homes for a while and sold a bunch of homes with them. And then we joined forces in 2019. So I did resell while he was doing new construction. Anyway, we are going to talk about social media. I am super excited about this. This is a good topic. How does everyone feel about social media marketing? What do you think? Good? Excited? Okay. That's good. Save them. Hopefully we answer them. But yeah. Okay. So by the end of the session today, this is going to be awkward. We are going to talk about the 10-5-1 engagement system. We're going to explain the importance of limiting your social media post to a 20% of your business content and ways people in your network. So what I want you to do, just for like, I don't know, 2 minutes, I want you to write down a list of questions that you might have about social media, and maybe talk to your partner or to a partner or group up and just kind of brainstorm some things that you have questions about with real estate. You already have some, write those down so that we can make sure that we get your questions answered if they don't get answered during the presentation. And I think it will help provide some good conversation for us throughout our class today. So I'm going to give you like 2 minutes. jot some questions down, talk about it with a partner, and we'll go from there. Yeah. Don't be shy.
I have not. I don't know.
That's a good,
That's a good question. She, what is different?
a very good question. We're gonna get to that.
Better to do it under you physically starting over.
So,
I know.
yeah, that's a good question. We're gonna talk about that. I forgot to ask everybody's names and how long you've been in real estate and what's your story? Just like 30 seconds. Tell me about you. Awesome. Love it. Good. Okay.
I'm Dave Krantz. I got my license in November.
Awesome.
So I've been in sales a long time, been around real estate a lot, just never done it.
Well, good. I'm excited for you. Have you done the Ignite, all of Ignite yet?
Most, I think there's a few classes that I haven't done, but most of them.
Okay. Okay, Sarah.
I am Sarah Myers. I've been in real estate. I've gotten my license, or I'm 3 weeks. I've had my license.
Good job.
And I've always loved every aspect of real estate, from the house flipping to the gardening to the homes to interior design. I just love it all. So,
Good. I love it.
Stacy. Been in real estate now.
Cool. Has
Wow. What got me into real estate?
Sure.
Sorry. Okay. I actually new to the area, so I starting from zero SOI. So I am more than I'm really happy to get. And I'm trying to make this part of it. I think this job was kind of stifled. They share too much or post too much. So I just stay away from all together. So this is cool.
Well, hopefully we can overcome some of those fears for you. Yes.
I'm also Courtney.
Nice to meet. I love meeting a Courtney. I knew one Courtney my whole life, and it was a boy. And then I like moved to Utah, and then everybody's named Courtney. So I was like, okay, I thought I had a unique name, but I don't. Okay. Yeah.
So good job on a convention.
Thanks.
I got into real
Oh, yeah.
estate a few years ago when I started investing.
Oh, cool.
And so I've been doing that. I've done long-term rentals, short-term rentals, and had a lot of fun with that. And I wanted to start sales as kind of an extension of investing, but then I just started realizing how much fun it is to help people solve problems with their housing and figure out how to live better lives through that.
That's such a cool why. I love it. Yeah. Great.
Trying to follow. Real estate mainly for the investing aspect, but also, I mean, I feel like it makes sales work. But I love the investing aspect of wanting to finance and investment.
Mhm.
So I love all the companies. But other than that, investing and also like treatment houses as well.
Very cool.
Kind of that real estate license helps that.
Have you thought about getting an MRED?
No, I'm not sure what that is.
Master's of Real Estate Development. So I'm actually finishing up the program and graduating. The reason why I ask is you're like you like finance. It's pretty finance heavy. And yeah. So they basically, the reason why I went into the program to learn more is we knew how to sell, we know how to build, but we didn't know how to get the money from the banks. And so a big motivating factor for me to go through the program was to learn how to pitch and do the performance and all the things. So
What was that called?
it's called the Masters of Real Estate Development, and it's at the University of Utah. So think about it. A few other agents in our office have theirs, and it's a great way if you're a finance brain. There's lots of avenues. I had no idea before I started the program, like how many opportunities there are in the real estate industry. I had a very narrow view that it was residential, and that was real estate. But when I went and it was like day one, my mind was blown. I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many pathways that you can go in real estate. So if this is not the path, it's okay. Find another one, because there are many within real estate. So last but not least.
My name's Amy Chamberlain. I've been basically like stay-at-home mom for
Awesome.
most of my life or my married life. But I've always had that entrepreneurial spirit. I've been a photographer for 20 years. And then my husband and I opened Piece of Sugar in Springville.
Cool.
So we've had that for almost 3 years. And it just looking for a new avenue or something like if
Good.
you really jump into, I've always been. We've done some flips.
Awesome.
That, so.
Very cool. Well, welcome everyone. This is exciting. Okay, so shout out some of the things that you have questions about. And one of them is whether or not you should get a business account or 2 accounts, right? Okay. And we're going to talk about that, but any other burning questions that you have that we want to make sure that we address?
What's the real impact of social media marketing? Like what real world results do you see from it?
Good. Ivan?
I guess it's also the same. If I don't know if I should just change my existing account into real estate since I already have followers on it, or if I just make a completely new account.
Yeah. There's definitely pros and cons to both avenues. Any other big questions?
Then they're kind of like practice.
Okay.
Like, what do you post?
Yep.
How do you-
How often?
Yeah, how often? Yeah.
Content, what and how often?
And how much do you need on your account before you start like referring people to your social media account?
Like how many followers or how much content? Okay. Right. Yeah. I feel like that can you can get a board pretty quickly, at least on Instagram. What?
You tend to get the same followers,
Mhm.
less.
Mhm.
I have not watched Instagram.
Okay, so we're going to talk about I think 4 or 5 different mediums today. I guess medium, is that the right word? For social media platforms. But before we get into that, let's just go, but which, raise of hands, or not raise of hands, shout out to me, what is the one platform that you use the most already? Instagram. Okay. It is.
You're about to get banned.
Yeah. Okay, so Instagram, TikTok, mostly is is that same for you? Okay. Facebook sometimes. What did you say?
I said Instagram and Facebook. Like,
Okay. Hi, Erica. Welcome. Okay. Instagram and Facebook equally. Love it. All right. That's pretty typical. And yeah, for TikTok, if you like the videos, you're going to have to like start like in Reels. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Do we really think it's going to get banned? I don't know. We'll see. Okay. So before we jump in, anytime we post, we have to reference our market center in some way. So it either has to be, like right there visible in the post, or like one click away. I try to just be as forthcoming as possible, and I usually tag the brokerage or have a logo somewhere on the picture or something. I always add it right to my post somewhere. I have a friend, she's really big in social media too. She's not in our brokerage, but she got fined from a way old post that like took someone to somewhere else, and it didn't show like what brokerage she was, and somebody like turned her in. Like, I don't know who has time to do that, to go policing, but somebody must have like had something against her or something, even though she's like the coolest lady ever. But anyway, she got turned in and got fined. So now because of that, she and I were talking, and she's like, Courtney, whatever you do, just make sure you post that you're with KW, Westfield, or whatever brokerage you are with. Make that known and clear in the post, so people are never questioning and they never have to.
So it
think
has
about
to
turning.
be specifically to the brokerage, not just Keller Williams.
Yes, it cannot just be Keller Williams. Now I do tag KW too, just because we'll talk about like the different pillars and the different tags, hashtags, and like you want a variety of different types of, like, some hashtags have like a ton of people that use it, right? And some are smaller, micro hashtags. You're kind of familiar with that. Anyway, I do tag KW, but I always tag KW Westfield or KW Cedar Valley or something, or to have that somewhere in the post. You don't necessarily have to tag it. You could have it within your the body of your post. Okay, so we've got that out of the window. All right, we're going to talk about the 10-5-1 social engagement system. So if you're already active on Instagram, you're already active on Facebook, you know how to like and comment, right? So the biggest thing with social media is engagement, and also, I would say engagement, consistency. Wait, consistent, I don't know, how do I spell that? Okay, and this is going to help the algorithm, okay? The ever-changing algorithm. Once we figure it out, they want to change it up again, right? So what I like to do, this is like not even posting, not even anything. Every single day, I go onto Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and I find 10, I actually go through my friends list on Facebook, and I find 10 people, and I just comment and like a few of their posts, because I'm trying to get the algorithm to show that I'm engaging with a bunch of different people, right? Because what happens is the algorithm sees that you're engaging with like the same 5 people over and over and over. So they just show you that same content over and over and over. So you have to basically physically go and find other people that you can engage with, and then it will pop up. Because the biggest thing for like a real, what did you say? A real-time benefit is top of mind for social media. Okay. So what I like to do is I go onto Facebook and I go onto Instagram and I like and comment on 10 posts.
And you want to have a lot of variety with the people that you're
So I find 10 people, 10 different people. Yep.
You said you just go through your friends list.
Mm-hmm.
You
And-
start from like.
Yep, I
the
start
top
at A.
10. Okay.
And then I go down to Z and then I start over. So I'm constantly at some point in the month engaging with the people in my friends list. Okay, so, oh, and I should be specific on this, friends list. Okay, now if you want to get more friends, then you're gonna find people that are not like people that you, okay, so on Instagram, you can look at hashtags that or you follow the same people or the same things, you know, like then you can go and like click on other people's if they're public and just start liking and commenting on their stuff, and eventually they might come back and like and follow you, right? So this is at least to get your friends engaged, because the most important part to me with social media, yes, it's to get you do want to get a following, but that's really like having bajillion followers doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make $1 million, right? It's who engages with you. So I actually don't have a huge amount of followers on my Instagram. I have like 1,500, but the people who do engage are the people who know, like, and trust me. And so I get referrals. I get like, I don't do a lot of cold calling. I just get referrals and people within my own network who see me actively posting on the different platforms, who are like, oh yeah, Courtney, who do I know that's in real estate? Courtney, I just saw her posting about something. Now I don't inundate, and we'll get into the 80-20 rule, and we'll also get into the accounts, but this is just a way to start engaging so that you are staying top of mind with those friends within your network. Dean always says, we have to start sharing. We have to start putting ourselves out there. We have to let it be known that we're real estate agents. Otherwise, you're a secret agent. And more than likely, you're not going to get any business as a secret agent. It sounds cool to be a secret agent, but it's not cool. Okay. So we have to be willing to put ourselves out there and go out of our comfort zones, do things that we're not comfortable with, we're not familiar with. And that's even just like Darcy said, did anyone go to the training on Tuesday where she talked about, you got to get your face in front of a camera because your face is what sells. Another thing I'm going to point out, I love all the reasons why people love real estate and want to get into real estate, but the cold hard truth of real estate is it is a sales and marketing business. The sooner that you can figure that out, the sooner you'll make money. If you think, I don't have any leads, you have a marketing problem, which can be directly related to your social media, is one way that you can market, right? And get your name out there. So, all right, let's keep going with this. So every day you should like or love or react to at least 10 posts by other people. So you can do just 10 posts by 10 different people, like 10 total posts, 10 different people, right? Although I like to go on Facebook and I give myself a timer because you can go down the rabbit hole of being on Facebook, right? So give yourself a timer and be like, and when you're doing this as your job, like, okay, I'm going to go to Facebook. I'm going to go through my friends list. I'm going to go here and I'm going to look at 3 or 4 posts, comment and like them so that there's some engagement there. Then I move on to the next person. And for the week, as they're popping up, continue to like and comment on their posts just authentically, as they come. Because when you start engaging, they will start popping up more. And if you stop engaging with them, they disappear, right? So that's why I have to constantly keep going back, because I'm not on Facebook all the time, all day, every day. So anyway, okay, so you're gonna like or love and react to 10 posts by other people. This is really quick and easy. Social media is free, essentially, right? So it's so easy to get on and try to engage, and it's the cheapest way to do things besides calling somebody up and, calling them on the phone, which you'll find out a lot of people don't want to do. Okay, so beyond your like, so we're going to like on 10 at least. comment 5, and maybe you'll, I think the last one is, and then you can share or also DM is another way to talk to people. Like I know one agent and I'm friends with him. Every year, I never talk to him like on social media. We don't even follow each other. We follow each other, but we don't even like, our algorithms don't come together, you know? But every year on my birthday, he sends me a DM. Happy birthday, Courtney. Hope you have a great day. Now, it's sets it, you know, the comments, you know, when you comment on somebody's page, happy birthday, usually gets truncated, the post, right, for the birthdays now, where there's like 100 posts about the birthday and they all get kind of like lumped into one. Well, if you're that one friend who sends a DM instead, you're like standing out a little bit, you know, from the pack. So think of ways that you can engage through DMs. Don't be that creepy salesperson that's like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, have you ever had that happen where you're in a group and all of a sudden somebody starts DMing you? No, don't be that person. But authentically be a friend. I think, yeah. Okay, so in addition, I'm gonna throw out one thing that's not social media related, but it's the same. I do it at the same time. I go through my phone list every day or every month as well. So I text people in my contacts on my phone and I start with A. So, or if you don't want to be like the same path as Facebook, you can start on the other direction and go that way, right? So I send 10 texts a day to people within my my phone. So 10 texts a day. Now, what am I saying to my friends when I'm texting them? I just say, hey, how are you? Haven't talked to you for a while. What's up? That's it. Then they reply. They say whatever they're saying. And eventually it comes around to real estate. And then it's an opportunity for you to say, oh, yeah, this is what I'm doing. Da, da, da. I'm not asking for business. I'm just wanting to be a friend. Just have a conversation with people in my my own network. Okay. So this is, I guess, not social media, but while you're doing your Facebook and Instagram, just take a second and just send 10 texts a day to people in your contact list. And maybe they'll say, what are you up to? You don't have to tell anyone. Hey, you don't text and say, hey, guess what? I got my real estate license, because that's awkward. You say, hey, how are you doing? What's up? And then they reply and they're like, da, da, da. And some sooner or later, they'll say, well, what are you up to? And you say, oh, yeah, I just got my real estate license. Da, da, da. That's a great way to tell people. But you're not like, you know, you're not going in strong. You're not a heavy hitter. You're going in, like, I don't know, a back day or side door route, I guess. Were you going to say something, Sarah? Oh, okay. Okay, so when we're posting, let's talk about the pages. Let's just address that now. Okay, for Facebook, you are going to want a business page because it has to be linked for ads. If you ever want to run ads, you need a business account. And I personally, with your Instagram, if you already have a bunch of, okay, for me personally, I kept my personal one and then I just let everybody know in my personal, I did a post once and I was like, hey, anybody who wants to follow me on my real estate journey, follow me here, you know, and a bunch of them followed me. I hardly engage on my personal one anymore. It's mostly just like for my own scrapbook, you know, it's like when events happen in the family, we have dance recital, missionary, whatever, I'll post there. But everything else I do, I post on my business, unless I accidentally like post on the personal. And then I'm like, oh crap, now I have to, anyway. But yeah, so I personally do that. However, if you have, I know of somebody and she actually has a ton of followers. She did not get them from doing real estate. Yes, she did it from, she had a business and she made like cute signs and stuff. And she was like always showing these cute signs and got a ton of followers, got a divorce, got into real estate, changed the name of her page, and just went from there. And then now her following has gotten even bigger because now she has, used that audience that she'd already created, and they already did trust her and know her and liked her, right? Because that's the biggest thing in sales, is to get somebody to know, like, and trust you. Everything we do is to build upon this in marketing, branding, sales, whatever we do. Know, like, and trust. So she already had this audience who knew her, liked her, and trusted her. So then when she started posting on real estate, changing her page to real estate, then she went from there. Now, another, if you do have an Instagram and it is a personal account, but you want to change that to a business one, then you want to change it to a creator post, or a creator account, I think is the name of it. Let me look. The reason why, on the personal ones, you don't get full access to all the music and all the components. Also, you don't get the professional dashboard that shows the analytics. So you do want, whatever account you're going to use, you do want, let me tell you what mine is. A professional. So if you're going to just change yours, you can just, you go into settings, is that it? Where does it tell me? Account status? No. Oh my goodness. Obviously, right now in this moment, I'm like, can't find anything. But you'll go in there and you'll change the type of account to a creator account. Basically, it's like a influencer type account, right? And then that will open up and give you all of the tools and different controls that you can have.
Courtney, mine says professional dashboard. Is that what it's called, professional dashboard?
Mine is, there should be some different options for you. Switch account type. No. Okay, you want to switch to a business. If you're not. What? Oh my gosh. Random accounts. I have a bunch of accounts. I'm crazy over here. Creator tools, and does it have a place where you can select what type of account you want?
It just says like, and I just created it just this last week, right on the front page of Sarah Heiner Realtor. It says professional dashboard. That's what mine says. Like,
Well, right, and that should be there if you have a professional account, but there's different types of professional accounts that you can have. Is it in settings? It might take me a minute. I'll have to come back to this in a little bit and dig into it, unless they've changed it since I've.
So this one, I went to business. Profile. Category. Okay.
No. Okay, I don't know. I'll figure this out in a little bit, but definitely make sure it's a professional one, whatever you have. And then honestly, with starting to share it, just within your own people who already know you, like you, and trust you, just say, hey, I'm starting my business one. And if they want to follow you, they will. And more than likely they will, because they already they like you. They want to follow you. They want to see what you're up to, you know? Okay, with the 80-20 rule, so 80-20, what do you suppose the ratios are for? What do you suppose we do 80% of the time, and what do we do 20% of the time?
personal
Yeah, if you're doing it on a personal account, yeah. Yeah, you're gonna only try to sell and talk business 20% of the time on a personal one. 80% you'll keep it like, so on my Facebook, I do have a business one, but the only time I post to the business one, or what I'll do, I mostly interact on my personal Facebook, right? But I have my business account. So if I post something to Instagram that automatically shares with my Facebook business account, then what I'll do is I'll share my business page post on my personal page. So then they see Courtney Nielsen Realtor on my personal page, right? But then the rest of the time I'm just interacting as me and, you know, sharing interesting information occasionally, mostly just commenting and liking and going down rabbit holes. Okay, so you just don't want to inundate your social media platforms with listings and business content, because otherwise people will get tired and not want to follow you. Now, if it's complete business account, then you want to provide 80% of things like of value, like just talking about like interesting things within real estate, but you're only going to push sales 20% of the time, right? So you're dropping good content, but only 20% of the time you're actually asking for something. Does that make sense? Okay. Yep. Those are all great things that you can post about. Like what can I do for you? What is the as your agent? How I can help you buy, how I can help you sell. Granted, all of those other posts that you're giving is kind of like showing them what you can do for them, right? But it's not like in a salesy way. It's more of like informational stuff. Okay, so basically they're saying 1 out of 5 posts on your Facebook should be real estate related. And the reason why I changed my personal to a bit, well, besides you need the professional dashboards, because you want to track your analytics, you want to track which posts are performing better than other posts and do more of that, right? But before the professional dashboards were even a thing, the reason why I switched is because I wanted to talk more about my family and have my, I wanted that private, and I wanted to show those events and things like in my personal life that I didn't necessarily need everybody in my professional world to know. Like we want to be friends be a friendly type person on our business, right? But we're not going to tell like our professional world. We can tell them some things, like I do share, I'm at a dance competition with my daughter. I share that I, just made my first loaf of sourdough bread. I'm doing all those kinds of things. I have a love affair with Paris. I love dance and ballet. And so I'm always sharing things like that, right? Because that's like a little bit about me and my personality, and what hopefully finding ways that people can connect with me. Oh, Courtney likes this, Courtney, whatever, right? But I'm not going to like tell them what I'd tell my therapist. Like keep certain things out. We want to share and we want to be authentic, but we don't want to be like so authentic because that's weird. And they just don't need to know all that. And also, like, even though I do post like with my dance and daughter, I like put that in my stories. I don't ever post that on like the actual board, because I just don't want like people see, oh, she has a cute little 10-year-old girl. Let me follow her and find out where she lives. That's the privacy part that I just worried about. So that's why I like kept everything over there, the privacy stuff, that I can have like a private account that I don't need to be posting everywhere. Now, if it's just the stories, they are there for 24 hours and gone, right? It's never in a static. Granted, something screenshotted, I guess, but that's a whole another thing. Okay. Anyway, you see what I'm saying? Okay, some things to post about. You could post like, okay, let's talk about, I have a whole thing on each one. I keep jumping around, but maybe I should just go to each platform and just kind of give you tips on each one. Okay, you can post about things that you're reading. You can post about where you're traveling, your favorite foods or activities. Maybe you're an avid runner, maybe you're a gardener, maybe you're a stargazer. Like, post something where people can like you outside of just the business Courtney or the business Amy or the business Sarah, right? Like, what are ways that people can get to know you about things that you like, you know? Like, for example, there's an agent that I know, and she was just posting like a lot about houses and real estate, but nothing about herself. Well, she loves Halloween. I mean, she's like the freak of Halloween. Like, you guys, she should have a Halloween tour every year. Her house is amazing. And it's like she keeps it up, and then she's like, should I keep it up for Christmas and turn it into Nightmare Before Christmas? Yes, you should, because like that is her. Halloween. So she's always talking about Halloween through the whole year, bringing up funny posts about Halloween now. Now I was like, oh, I can connect with her because she likes Halloween and that's fun. You know, and she does it in a really fun. She also loves pickleball. So she'll show us, you know, pickleball stuff and her on a podium winning a pickleball championship thing, you know? So that's where I was like, okay, I know that she likes Halloween and she likes pickleball. And now I can connect with her, right? We need to find ways that we can connect with people. Another friend, Susie, she loves cats, and she's like she's funny, and she like posts pictures of like crazy cat lady things, you know, in her stories, and I love that about her. And you know, she's always rescuing kitties. I got one of her rescues, but literally, she's like the cat whisperer. All these little baby kitties who need a mama, they come to her and then she finds a home for them. And anyway, so that's something that about Susie that I, you know, I love about her. And I, even before, like, you guys, I didn't even like cats before I got my cat, but now I love my cat. I love kitties now. And before I was like, ooh, don't touch me, don't kiss me, don't lick me, blah. Now I'm like, lick me over. Who am I? I don't know. I turned 45 and now all of a sudden I like cats. Is that my midlife crisis? Maybe. Okay, so let's see. I haven't even been switching through these because it's awkward. Okay, we got this, right? We got this. Okay. Share, direct message, original post for the one. Okay, 80% personal, 20% business. So now that I have a kitty, I post about my kitty. So, yeah, cooking, baking recipes. I don't know about you guys, but like, do you ever just like follow like the cake people who are decorating cakes and you cannot look away? Like, it's been, or the organizers. Oh my heck, this lady, Effective Spaces, I think I spent an hour watching every like video possible on organizing. And I was like, I need her to come organize my house. Oh my heck, she's amazing. Anyway, so those kinds of things like that people can just like keep watching, you know, because it's fun to watch the cakes spinning and them doing, you know, their little decorations. Have I made a cake? No, but I love to watch it. I know everything about cake making now. Baking the bread, the sourdough. Do you guys follow Ballerina Farm? Oh my gosh. Well, now, I mean, okay, the craze of sourdough bread of 2020, like I started it. I was not a good mama of the starter. It died and I just gave up. And I was like, I need to do this. I want to do this. And so I follow like my cousin's wife. She does sourdough. She makes chocolate sourdough bread. She does all kinds of foods with her sourdough start, you know, because you can like use the discard to put in your brownies and this and that, all these things, right? I had no idea. Anyway, now I follow Ballerina Farm and I'm like, now I need a farm with a goat and some cows. And I need to, she makes like homemade, you know, everything's fresh every day. She just like was in a Mrs. World pageant 2 weeks after having a baby at home. She's nuts. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love her though. I'm like, I love her. And I love when she's making her food. You know, she's like doing this with her sourdough bread. I'm like, I gotta make some sourdough bread. So of course I went onto her website and I bought the whole package of sourdough, everything. And I made my first loaf on Sunday and it turned out really good. So yay. But then I'm like, what do I do with the starter now? Do I have to feed it every day? Anyway, I think so. I think we're fine. And also the timing is an issue. I'm very busy and it takes a whole day to make sourdough bread. I had no idea. Anyway. The start, it's like bubbles up. It's like this yeasty, I don't know. And it's always growing. So you have to like feed it flour and water, but you like take some out and feed it and then put the other, I don't know. Anyway, so these are some things that we can, outdoor adventures. If you're going on a hike, one friend that I know, well, actually she owns Perk. She's always out in the mountains hiking somewhere and, you know, showing her little adventures. I love that about her. Music, if you're into sports, that's a good thing to start posting about. Maybe people realize you're like the crazy Ute fan or the crazy BYU fan. Or for me now, like I'm a house divided, literally. I graduated from BYU and I'm getting a degree from the University of Utah. So I don't know now. I'm neutral. No, I root for the Cougars. All right, so business posts. 20% can be listings, open houses, awards, speaking events, any kind of those things. People are interested in your day. What are you doing today? You know, tell them about that. Going above and beyond, you can do some community service type posts, 10% of that. We do a lot of community service right here in our brokerage. We have Red Day coming up. So that would be something really great to post about. At Thanksgiving time, we always feed families and we put together like, I don't know, 2,000 Thanksgiving dinners and give them to families at schools that are like Title I schools who are in need. And I just think it's really important for us to share that we're doing those kinds of things within our community. And people love that too. You know, we did Ben and I did a road home. You know, we gathered like beanies and socks and gloves and all the stuff for the winter for Christmas, and we delivered that. So putting that out there, community service is a really good thing to get involved in. Okay, so let's talk about the strategies, and I'm going to go through I have pages and pages and pages of notes. I'm going to go through the different platforms and talk about ways to. Now, first off, I don't want you to think you have to do all of them. Okay, you don't have to do all of them. Just pick one and get good at it. Then when you feel like you've got a rhythm, maybe you can add another one, you know? But you don't have to like think I have to post on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, Pinterest. Just pick one to start because it is a lot, especially if you're not used to doing any kind of social media and any kind of social media marketing. Pick one. For me, it's been Instagram, and that's because I'm on there the most. Probably secondary for me is Facebook, right? But now I'm like kind of getting to the point where I'm gonna maybe level up and get into another platform. My husband is a LinkedIn guy. That's so boring to me, but guess what? He engages with people on LinkedIn by sharing articles and different things and posts. And I was like, it's actually kind of smart because like those are business people who probably need homes, you know, to post on there. So if you like to be on LinkedIn, do that. You know, he doesn't really get on Instagram that much, but he is on LinkedIn and he's like got little badges for engagement and stuff. And that's just what he was doing, like authentically, not even with any purpose, like I need to find leads. He just likes to be on there. So that's for me on Instagram. I like to be on Instagram. So let's talk about Instagram first. So some things to consider. And actually, before we get into the Instagram and all of it, I think this pertains. So on Tuesday, Darcy was talking about branding, and she talked about, well, what was the message that you got from her, from branding?
She was so amazing.
The overarching, what did you want, major thing you took away?
we are,
You're the brand.
we're the brand.
Okay, I love that. Okay, so we'll stop and talk about branding for just a minute. Okay, so branding, you are the brand, right? People are not, they can hire anybody to help them buy a house, but they're hiring you to help them buy a house. So that's why I'm talking about all these different things that we can do on social media to connect, because it's all about connection. I don't know if anybody follows Molly Jackson, but she has an awesome, she does an awesome keynote on connection, and her whole social media is all about connection. She lost her little daughter at like 2.5, 3-ish. She choked on an apple and died. And she talks about grieving that, and then basically how she came out of that dark hole was by connecting with people. I don't know why I'm crying. But it's so powerful. Connection is powerful. So anything that we can do to connect with people, to help them like you, trust you, know you, then they'll hire you. Yeah, yeah. Granted, you also have to show some, like they're buying you, but they want to know that you're going to do a good job for them too. So how can you create, English teacher here, all right, I'm going to quiz you on your skills when you learned all about logic and argument essays, persuasive essays, right? Ethos is building your credibility, right? Pathos is connection, I guess. So connection through stories, right? This is the icing on the cake stuff, the touchy-feely things, right? The logos is like numbers, stats, logic, right? So logic, heart. So this is head, this is heart, right? And this is our credibility. How do we build that credibility? Well, social, what?
Being trustworthy.
Yeah, being trustworthy, showing some skills that you have, and maybe negotiating different things, like your social proof would be like reviews that you start getting, right? That's part of your building your credibility part. So, okay, okay, we're gonna post about neighborhood images, congratulate new homeowners, post about listings, tell stories about the process of how you took somebody. Like that's one way I like to try to build that credibility is, especially when it was like multiple offers, like what did I do specifically during that sale? Not, hey, instead of just putting like sold for X amount of dollars, like what were the actionable things that I did to help them get their house sold? Tell them about it. That's your opportunity in your 20% post to tell them how you brought them from, beginning to the end. Okay, so branding, back to that. So she talked about that our brand is us. And then she talked about like our values, right? And that not necessarily, like we always talk about coming up with our value proposition for selling real estate, but people are going to connect with you also on what values you have. So what do you personally value? If you personally value integrity, you value friendship, you value, I don't know, there's a whole list of things that you could value, right? So you need to start sharing ways, showing people how you value that. Because if they value that integrity, well, how do you value integrity? Teach people about that. Show people how you value that. She talked about how, like, when she was selling her house, one of her homes, she knew that her sewer line had a bunch of like roots and stuff growing in it. And it was an old home, and she knew that it probably should be replaced. Did she have to replace it before she put her house on the market? Probably not. She could have just let it go. But if she wanted to sell her house from a place of integrity, she felt like she needed to fix that so that she could feel good about selling her home to another person. Because what if they didn't scope it? You know, what if that's part they should, but what if they didn't do any of that? Granted, she could have put it in her seller's disclosures and said that, you know, the sewer line maybe, but talked about that. But I think true integrity was her wanting to fix it and make it right before she even sold the home. So as you as an agent, or for you as an agent, you know, what are the things that you value and how do you want that to lead your business? Okay, then at the very end, so she talks about this whole thing. If you don't have that, let me know and I can send you a copy. But, you know, she wants you to go through, this is 10-step strategic rebrand. So it's coming like on my list. Your brand recognition gets you seen. The logos, the colors and all of that is the icing on the cake at the end, but that's not your brand. You're the brand. How are you going to portray that? What are your core values? What are things that you promise? How does your brand align with other people or other people that you're doing business with? How does that align? Like your home inspectors and your, you know, the different vendors that you work with. Like, we want to make sure that we align with whoever we decide to partner with, right? Even our clients. The client recently that we parted ways, and you know, for me, I had been worried about doing it for a while, but I just knew that my values didn't align. He's a builder, and I didn't like how he was cutting some corners and not doing things to make sure the house was, you know, in the best shape. It was a beautiful home, but there were some things where he cut corners that I didn't like, that I didn't feel good about selling, you know? So finally it worked out. We cut ties, and it was hard to do that because you see dollar signs, you know, you see dollar signs, but I think in the end, it will help me make more money because I'll be in a place where I feel like I'm congruent, right? Okay, so what are our benefits that we're offering? And then our visuals. So visuals getting to Instagram, everywhere we go, our visuals need to match. Okay, so whatever picture you're gonna choose of you, and if you haven't had pictures done for a while, go get them done. You've got to choose that picture and you want to keep it for a while. Like, find that brand picture. Now, granted, if you've had the same image for 10 years, probably you need to change it. But so you want your, you want to think about your bios. Okay, so what I also like to do is so our brand is Nielsen Property Group. So our website is Nielsen Property Group, Nielsen Property Group Instagram, Nielsen Property Group on Facebook, Nielsen Property Group on my YouTube, Nielsen Property Group everywhere, okay? So you need to think of whatever you're gonna brand yourself as, and that needs to be everywhere. So when people go to any different platform, they automatically see that it's you. And they already know, oh, I liked her over here on Instagram. I see that she has this Pinterest page. Now I like her or him, and I'm gonna follow her. And they just automatically see it because of your logos, your colors, your how you're branding your name. Okay, so your bios should also reflect your brand. And it should be consistent on every platform. On some of them, you might be able to like Instagram doesn't give you very many characters to write your bio, but I think that it can be like a summary of something larger that maybe you have at Facebook or on another platform, right? So who you are and what you're about, but okay, oftentimes we say who we are and what we're about, but who are you in their world? That's what you need to put on your bio. Who are you in their world? Yeah, let me see if I can.
You're saying like, who are you to them?
Yeah. So Darcy's is business and brand strategist, helping you make predictable and passive income. So what is she doing to help you? You know, it's less about her and more about what you can do for them or how you can help them, right? Okay. Tell them, you can put like in your website or in the link area, you can have like a tell them what they win. Do you have some kind of freebie that you can drop people, you know, right there in the bio, in the website? Not necessarily maybe the freebie that leads to the website, but you don't necessarily want to just drop the website there, which I have right now and I got to change. Okay. The gift of the website is not a gift enough. Lead people to a nice interaction with you. So whether it's a video, or maybe you've put together a checklist of some sort, a guide of some sort. Maybe it's, I don't know, a podcast episode of you, something to where it leads them there. They have some kind of interaction with you, and then that leads them to your website, right? It needs to be simple, clever. Your posts need to be, hold on. My notes are not making sense. Okay, so some ideas for posts. Okay, so video is huge, right? So you do want to start using Reels. I think I had a percentage somewhere. I think it's like people, I think it's like they stay longer, like 50-something% more with video. They interact 50% with more. So you want to be doing Reels. Okay, and with the Reels, you want to make sure that you're doing the subtitles or captions, because a lot of people watch without sound. Yeah, so make sure you're adding the captions. You'll want to do carousels. Oh dear. So a carousel on Instagram is where you do like a series of pictures that people scroll through, like 10 images, I think you can do, right? And then just some static. So you want a combination of all of those. People they like videos, but they also like the interaction of the carousel, but you want to lead them somewhere. So one that I got pretty good engagement with, I wish I could, put, was this one. You want to buy a home in 2024, but you have no idea how to begin the home buying process. Start by securing a pre-approval, then begin your home search, next submit your offer, then schedule your home inspections, finally close and move in. So you're like leading them somewhere, right? Like, but also every post should have some kind of call to action. So you need a call to action. And then you also need a hook. So if you notice, a lot of Reels now have some kind of hook on the video, right? Where it's like captures your attention on it. And then the body of the post might like go into more detail about it, right? But they'll like capture your attention. So like my hook was, you want to buy a home in 2024, but captures the attention. And mostly it's because there was a but there, right? So then you go on to, well, you have no idea how to do it. So these are the steps. And then at the end, I had a call to action in my body. Basically, I was asking them to join us for a smart home buyer workshop is what I was having them do, because we held a workshop at our branch office and invited people down to that to learn all about how to buy a home. So another one was, let's see. Let me see if I can find some example on. Okay, so you need a hook. we'll get to that. Some things that you could do is you could tag a friend, because we want to try to dip into other people's spheres too, right? So you're going to tag a friend who, and you know, what's something that you can highlight about them, right? And then their followers might. So one of my biggest videos recently, okay, you guys, I didn't know how to do you guys follow Anna is the Worst? Okay. Yeah, so Anna is the Worst. She's like a marketing girl and she's from Utah, and she's funny. Anyway, and she has another one. It's like my kids are the worst, and or kids are the worst. I don't know, but she's like just being funny. They're really not. She's actually amazing, right? So Anna is the Worst. ANNA. So Anna she likes to give tips to people who are 40 and older. And then she like played a good joke with that, and she's like, okay, 30 and over, 50 and over, 20 and over. It's really for anyone, but I don't know, like, anyway, the first one she did, and everybody like thought that was funny that she used specific age of 40, like, I guess, I don't know. So she was posting some tips on how to do something, and I replied in the comments, and I was like, hey, teach us a video how to do the green screen, because I didn't understand how to do that. And so then she like gave a tutorial, and then I did my first one, and it was like just on the fly, and I had Ben in the car with me, and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm making a green screen. And then he's like, why? It's like, because Anna told me to, you know. And then anyway, I tagged her in it, she shared it, and I got like, it went tons of followers. But my problem with that is I didn't keep engaging with that same community afterwards. So then it died off. So now I got to do that again with somebody else, you know, and then keep that engagement up. So that's another tip on here is once you start engaging with a group, you've got to keep them engaged. You have to keep them entertained. So otherwise they die off and they leave you. But I did get a bunch of followers like from that too. Okay, you could do an A or B. So these are just some like examples of, so an A or B. Do you like this or this? You know, to get people to engage. You can do polls now in Instagram, and so you could actually do a poll of A or B. Sometimes I put that in my stories, these kinds of things, but you can do that right on the site too. You can drip content by telling a story over a few posts. So there's this other account. It's called the Broke Agent, I think. He's super funny. But how he like went viral was he told this story about how like basically a house burned down. And so he went into this whole dramatic story of this house that burned down that he had listed. And it went viral from that. However, it was funny how he told the story, you know. But so Darcy tells a story of, so she's never been married, doesn't have any kids, but she did raise one of her nieces who was having some, anyway, she needed to be rehomed. So Darcy took her in when she was like 3, and she raised her for a few years, and then before her parents got healthy and they could have her back. And so she tells the story of basically getting her niece and how that was over the few days. And she's a photographer, so she's showing all these beautiful pictures too, you know. And I mean, I was in it. Like I needed to know all the parts. Like I wanted to know beginning to the end, because the way she told the story was just reeled me right in. I wanted to know more. She cried a lot at first. She just needed love. She was like a you know, the animals in the corner that are like, you know, abused animal type thing. I don't know that she was abused, but that's how she was. And she just needed, like, she would just sit next to her and like let her cry and just be that empathetic person, you know? And pretty soon her little niece started connecting with her, but it like took a long time. And she told this whole story. Anyway, it's beautiful. And so it reeled me in. So, okay, how can you tell a story over a period of time? Or I like to tell the story of beginning, like I told you, beginning to end with the client. Anyway, okay. Oh, here's a tip. You want to go to the explore page and find posts that are, that are popular, that are viral. And you want to look for hashtags that people are using in your, in our field. And you want to follow other people within the industry that you are, who are competitors, right? So we're doing this for market research, right? And figuring out what to post and how to post it and maybe how to word things, right? And these can be competitors in our market, or they could be agents in other markets. Like I follow a guy who raps, and he's from California, and he's an agent, and he has pretty funny raps. And now he's got this huge following, and it's great. I love him. Anyway, then he had like a battle with another agent who raps in Florida. So then it was Florida against California, and there was the two of them. And one's like Mexican and one's white. And the white guy, oh my God, you guys. It was fun. Anyway, I got all into the drama of that, of them and their rap battle. It was like, whatever they call those. Is it called a rap battle? I don't know, where you like go and.
There were people voting like online.
Yeah. And, and then of course they're like roasting each other too, and like, it was funny. Anyway.
A couple years ago, met someone here in the office. I didn't know he was actually in a different place.
Okay.
And I came on, I saw him, and so I follow him on social media, and he does something really funny. Last Tuesday, he's like, "Hey guys, it's time for Tuesdays with Tobin," is his name.
Okay.
I don't know if you know him, but it was the funniest thing I've ever seen because it was really off key. And
Okay.
He just didn't care. And I thought that was so unique.
Yeah.
And it got me laughing, and it got me, and then he was telling the NAR story.
Mm.
And it was really detailed, but he started out being
That's
really
good.
funny and owning his, like, he wasn't musically talented.
Yeah.
But he did it anyway, and he did it in a
That's cool.
singing thing, and then he went serious, and I was so sucked into that.
That's a great idea. I love it. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. So anyway, yeah, we're going to find ideas for future content. Okay. Another thing is we want to help people. We're going to share. Okay. It doesn't matter. Like, you want to tell your trade secrets. We don't keep those close to us, because how many people, well, some people ask, how come you guys teach all these classes, and how come you guys tell us, like, open up your whole businesses and tell us how to do it? Because a very small percentage of people will actually do it. Okay. And it's also in the Zig Ziglar idea where, you help enough people. I forget the exact quote, but you help enough people, you'll have abundance in return, right? So it's that mentality on your pages. You're going to share. Help people win in everything. And because you're sharing, they will like you. They will want to work with you. Plus, it's help building your credibility too. Okay. Niche and hashtag. Okay, so there's debates on whether you should put the hashtags in the post or in the first comment. I don't think it matters. But another social media person taught me that you have these pillars. So let's see, where's my black marker? Okay, when you're thinking about you have content pillars. Maybe you have 3 or 4. Okay. So this is ideas to help you with your content. You're going to have different pillars, and you're going to have different hashtag banks for each pillar. Okay. So you're going to explore, you're going to look at other people and what they're posting and what kind of hashtags they're using, right? Because you want a combination of ones that have like 3 million and ones that have like 100 or 1,000 or 15,000 or whatever, right? We want a combination to hit a bunch of different audiences, right? Because do you know what I mean by like the 3 million, whatever, like 3 million people are using that hashtag. 10,000 people are using this hashtag. You want to like tap into a variety of different audiences. So you're going to go to the explore page. You're going to find some hashtags. Maybe this one, your content pillar is all about buying. Maybe this one is all about selling. What else could you talk about within real estate that like goes? Okay, so you could do finance aspect. That'd be perfect for you because you're a money guy. Not for me. But I do watch finance guys and I am fascinated by them. Exactly. Design. Perfect. Okay, so you could have finance or market, right? These are just examples of content. Now, you could do this however you want, but those are ideas for like, okay, now you're going to come up with ideas for buying. How can I teach people all about buying? What can I share? With no, okay, we do it selflessly. Okay, we do this because we want to help, not because we're looking for gain, right? That will come. But that should not be our motive. I'm not going to do this to get this. It's not transactional. We do it because we want to. Okay. Okay. So, okay. And then interacting after you do a post. After you do a post, you're going to stay online for another 20 minutes or so, and you're going to engage with people who like and comment. Now, engaging does not mean fire, smiley, you know, it's actual words. So the algorithm wants you to actually reply, have a conversation with people, right? So it's not even thanks, cool. It's think of like a phrase, 4 words or more. And then you can do this on other people's posts too, to try to get engagement and get other people, like this is how you tap into other people's audiences. You can go to their posts and you can say, you know, another audience, maybe you, I don't know, just somebody you want to follow or just friends or whatever. And you're going to think of something like, not just, hey, that's cool, but like genuinely interested in what they have to say. Like, how would you respond to your friend? Because I bet you if your friend did something and then you said, hey, that's cool. I mean, maybe you are, but then you're going to expound on that, right? What's cool about it? That should be what you comment on other people's posts too. So then they start engaging and maybe you pop up enough, people start following you. Okay, so that's Instagram. Yes. Oh, go ahead.
Accounts that follow like 1,000, 3,000 people, but they don't have that much followers.
Mhm.
Is that good for like the algorithm and stuff? Or
Well, if you notice the people with 1 million followers, they have like following like 10 people. I think you follow the people you genuinely want to follow, but not follow people just to get engagement. Yeah. Another thing is stories. Okay. You spend a lot of time in your stories. People spend a lot of time in their stories. So this is an opportunity. If you don't want to do it in a post, you can tell a story in your story. Okay. Other things that you need to be careful with are home tours. If you're going to go into people's homes and take a picture, you have to have permission first from the agent. So you do need to be careful about that. And you also need to be careful about what's the word? Talking bad about people's homes, I guess is a nice way to say. Like there was an agent, I actually thought his content was pretty funny because he'd go into homes and he would say like what was crazy about it and why it was a lot of like flips. And he'd go in and like rip them apart. You know, why did they do this? and oh, that's a crappy job or whatever. But he got in trouble. So don't do that. So yeah, and I really think, okay, if we're thinking about our energy, now I'm gonna go woo-woo on you. what kind of energy do you want to put out into the world? And, you know, thinking about we want to be at a high vibration level, right? So we want to think of anything, we want to like take it positive, use those high vibrational words that are impactful, courage, bravery, love, you know, instead of things that like bring us down. So, and people will like that if you can keep that energy high.
Okay, so just on a practical level, I'm making a post, and let's say, like, I love mid-century modern houses, I live in Provo.
Oh, yeah.
Really fun, like, architect-designed houses, and I wanted to, like, go feature a house, and just take a picture from the street.
Mhm.
So, A, can I do that, and put it on, like, if I blur out the address or something?
I think if you blurred out the address, that'd probably be okay. But technically, and I think inside the home is where it really gets tricky because it's people's private lives that we're like videoing and putting on Facebook. Sometimes people have their family photos and everything in there too. So you have to be careful with that. But like, I mean, I do occasionally like take pictures and show, but yeah, you could blur out the address. We just don't want anybody to like, if we're doing it like anonymously, we don't want people to like go to the house, you know. We're not selling a house. We don't have a listing agreement with them. So, but I do think you know, I think that's a great idea to focus on like the design that you love. I like to I follow a lot of home designers too, because I'm just interested in that. I love beautiful homes. I love architecture, love all of that. And so I like to share things that I see. So maybe you could also like follow some mid-century people too, to like add and just share. Yeah.
And then when they do that, so am I just putting like in the caption, KW Westfield, or like, how do I?
So you want to like create some kind of post that like teaches them about something, or I mean, it could be what, entertainment, educational, or what's the third thing? Entertainment, informational, or I guess persuasive. So in like, I don't know, like
But I mean, like, in whatever caption I write, I just put.
at the end,
Westfield at the end.
you would just put your name and KW Asphalt.
She's like sharing something.
Oh. I don't know if Shelly does that on all. Let me look.
Like if we follow an interior designer.
Yeah, I don't. If I'm sharing on my stories, I never do any. I just share it on my stories. I don't ever put it on my, because if you do a repost, then there's that's a whole other can of worms where you have to then credit them.
You are like, you put credit for anything.
Yeah.
Also. Yeah.
Well, I'm like what's her name? Jen Jorgensen. She put something at the bottom of every post. Let me find one. Yeah. Right. So, oh, I'm not seeing it on these more recent ones, but you can have like a call to action at the end that's like, follow me and, you know, at this, and then put your whole like little Courtney, whatever your last name is, your brokerage, and then you could tag yourself. You go at whatever your thing is, and then people will click on it and follow you from there. That's just something you can do at the end, like a call to action to follow you. For more, I don't know, maybe search through a bunch and see how people are wording that. Like Jen has that in there, but I don't even see KW on here at all for her. Well, she has it in her bio. Shelly Jameson is the one who.
So when you say a click away, is the bio?
Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah. But Shelly, though, she puts it everywhere. Like she has it just like on her posts. She'll have just at the very bottom, she has her Instagram and her brokerage logo
On every post.
on every post.
Oh, that's- you get used to it, right?
Yeah, and then she will put at the bottom, she just does some dots down, or you know, and she'll put the brokerage like at the bottom.
Do it in a hashtag.
There she didn't. She just Sorry, can you see? Anyway, that one was kind of, she didn't really have a lot of in her. Well, this one isn't either. Anyway, okay, so that's is that Instagram? Try to do some cross promotions. And the most important thing is show up. Okay, here's something. Tony, a trainer from Tony Robbins came to our office last year and did a training. And he had everybody stand up and get into your Superman or Wonder Woman pose, right? If you're feeling like I can't do this, stand up in your Wonder Woman pose or your Superman pose, and then that'll give you the confidence that you need, and then go right into whatever you want to do. It like seriously takes you from a 0 to a 10 just by doing this. Yeah, 0 to hero. Okay. Yes. Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks. Okay, let's jump to Facebook. Thank you. Okay, so Facebook is known for like what? What? Huh? Old people. Does that classify? Am I old? Grandmas. Oh my gosh. I know. Okay. It is. It is. Okay. Facebook is known for their communities and groups, right? Okay. Groups, communities. Okay. So joining groups, you do have to be careful on those, like what the rules are and whether you can post. But in Utah, Utah Connect is one that you can post a business post every day. So I have a Eagle Mountain citizens page. I can post one once a week, a business post. So just whatever groups you're in, you just need to find out like what the rules are and how often you can post. But the Utah Connect one is great. And you know what? It's totally underutilized by agents. Like it's funny. All the agents come out of the woodworks when somebody says, do you know anybody who's an agent? But like rarely do you see one posting over and over and over and over again, you know? So that's where you could drop information that maybe you're sharing on your Instagram or whatever, put it there too. Okay, you do want to figure out the meta pixel. It used to just be called Facebook pixel. Now, I'm not an expert on this. Like the person who helped me with my website did that for me. But basically, you need to put the meta pixel onto your website somewhere, somehow. And it helps to track who comes from Facebook to your website. And like actually the meta pixel. So you just go into the meta suite, the business suite, and there should be some, I don't know. You got to start getting, I don't know as much about the meta yet. So anyway, okay, Facebook ads. So the pixel, basically, if you install it and analyze it on each page of your website, it will analyze it for you and give you some like analytics at the end of the week or month or whatever, and you can track and see like what traffic is coming from Facebook when you post and where they're going. Okay, so with your ads, so we can use in command. We have a Facebook ads component, and you get them at like quite a discount. But the key here is to test. Maybe you need to have some people, like different groups that you're targeting. Maybe you have some different target groups that you can test different iterations of an ad and see which one performs better within those target groups. Are they what? Yeah. These are paid ads. Yeah, it's a feature within, like they have some kind of agreement with Facebook that gets us a discount for the cost of the paid ad. But or if you don't want to do it through command, you can do it straight through the Meta Business Suite and figure out how to do the ads from there. There's different things you can boost, sponsor, or just do a straight up ad. Okay, so this is like boosting a post that you maybe you posted about an open house. Although Facebook has some really strict rules when it comes to housing, so you have to make sure that you're following whatever the rules are that they have listed. And I think, yeah, you have to just double check and see what the rules are. So anyway, you can post. This is a post, boost a post. You can spot. I think as a sponsor is more like an ad, right? I think so. Yeah. And then utilizing Facebook Marketplace is a good thing to do too. You can actually advertise listings on Facebook Marketplace. It's a great way to get some ads there or some leads. Oh, here, if people gaze 5 times longer at a video over an image. Just thought I'd show you out there or throw that out there. So 80-20 rule applies here to, what kind of value can you bring? So maybe I like that. This 80-20, this is value. What value are you providing? And then you're selling. Yeah. So we're providing value 80% of the time, 20% we're asking for a sale. Okay. What are the other ones? TikTok, I don't know what's going to go down with that. Becca Summers does TikTok and she has a pretty good following on it. I don't know how that. Yeah, right. I think some other platforms that you guys could think about adding would be YouTube. YouTube, only 9% of US businesses, small businesses, use YouTube. It's the second largest search engine, third most visited site after Google and Facebook. People, the society, and this is tragic for me as a former English teacher, people no longer read. We are a video-centric society. So how can we tap into that video-centric society? YouTube is huge. And YouTube is a great way, you can do long form videos. And so we have YouTube options. You can add on, let's see. Oh, this is another interesting statistic. We as in America, watches over 1 billion hours of YouTube per day. That is more than Netflix and all the other, I think, video platforms combined. So it's crazy. But whatever you do, okay, you're going to brand your channel. Your channel is going to look like your Instagram page, like your Facebook page, like your Pinterest page, like your LinkedIn page, like all of them, they're going to look the same, right? But you want to make sure that if you're adding those platforms on there, actually utilizing them. But again, you don't need to do that. Just pick one and go from there. So in a video, you want to make sure that you have a beginning, middle, and end. The end is where you ask for engagement, your call to action, right? Beginning, it's just think about writing a story. You're going to have something to catch their attention, then you're going to have some meat, and then you're going to have a call to action at the end, right? You want your videos transcribed. You want to cross-reference and create playlists, optimize titles, share with everyone. The first 24 hours are crucial for your ranking. So if you're going to do a YouTube channel, you got to invest in the time to do it, right? Schedule and be consistent. It says you need to post 3 to 5 times a week if you want to grow massively, and you got to let people know. Share on all platforms that you have a YouTube channel. Okay, the next one let's talk about is email. Well, before we go there, we'll go YouTube. My markers are dying on me. I cannot handle this. So you got YouTube, you have Pinterest, you have LinkedIn. Okay, these are other social media platforms. We're actually doing a training all the month of April. We're gonna have 4 different sessions talking about branding, social media marketing, forget what this third one is. And the last one is like automation, how to automate our plans. But so I would suggest coming, we're going to have some different experts for different, when we do the social media one. I think it will be like the second week of April, maybe. Oh, wait, spring break was in there. So not the spring break, that's first week. So it'd be like the third week, I think. There's 5 weeks in April. Will be social media, I believe. So we'll be talking about some different platforms there. But the first thing, let's see. Where's my Pinterest? Just really quickly about Pinterest, vertical images. If you're a Pinterester, then do Pinterest. But if you're not really a Pinterester, then don't even worry about it, right? Is there anybody who loves to pin and has boards and all that? Okay, then this is a good platform for you. You want branded blog pins. So you have to like direct people back to a website somewhere where you have a blog. Or things that like deliverables and things that you have, like checklists, videos, whatever you're going to do. All of your content needs to look branded and the same too for them to click on. And you can create the pins like right on Pinterest, I believe, and also the image thing. Okay, we didn't talk about this Canva. Where do we make our pictures to put on all these different places? I go to Canva. They have a free version. They have a paid version. I pay for the version. I don't even know how much it is. $100, $200 for the year. And you can do everything in this. You can do your videos. You can add your subtitles for your reels. You can do your carousel posts. You can do everything that you want to do. And it's all there. And you can like make this, okay, so I'm making a piece that maybe you do want to do more than one platform. So I'm going to make a content for my Instagram. Well, now I'm going to use that same content and I'm just going to adjust it a little bit, right? And make a Facebook piece and then deliver them at the same time, right? Or YouTube or whatever you're doing. Okay, so lastly, let's talk about email. So if you don't have an email newsletter, you need to start it like now. Email newsletter. Okay, you can do it through command. You can also pay for or get a free version of MailChimp or get a paid version. I think the free was probably enough for you right now. But email brings in the most revenues because you can create sales funnels that lead people to the email, and then you're dripping content to them every week through your email newsletter or twice a month or once a month, however often you're going to do it. You just need to be consistent. So if you're going to say, I'm going to do a newsletter, but I only have time to do 1 post a month, then that's okay. You're doing a newsletter once a month and everybody in your database is going to hear from you once a month, right? If you're like, okay, I think I can do it twice a month. Maybe one, I'll do like some item of value, like some, maybe I'll talk about staging tips or something. Maybe I'll talk about, I don't know, my favorite mid-century homes, maybe whatever. But then the next one, maybe you just feature like 2 or 3 properties that is just, that popped up in the area where you live. Right? Check these out. And it's just the properties, that's it. You could do that for a second one. So anyway, it's the lowest cost. Email is the lowest cost. And it begins with the freebie. So solve a problem in this freebie and use it as like a lead magnet. So anywhere you're at, if you're going to post something, you're like, hey, I have, like for me, I wanted to start doing some webinars. So I'm going to, for buyers. So I'm going to be advertising these webinars on Facebook and different places. And so, but when they click on it, they have to register for my newsletter. And then they get put right into my newsletter where I get to, talk to them a couple times a month. And however you want to format your newsletter is up to you. What do you mean? Oh, how long? Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways that you can structure that. Maybe you have some different like things that you can click on with different informational pieces, or maybe you're just teaching them about something that's going on in the market. I mean, for me, I don't make it super clunky. I try to make mine simple, but with something that they're going to read. Also, you want to be careful. Like when people are reading a newsletter, they are not going to go past the fold. So think about an old newspaper and how it was folded up. People would look at just that top part and not like open it anymore, right? So the most important part of your newsletter needs to be in that top part before they have to scroll. So when it cuts off, that's the fold line where you have to scroll, right? So your most important part of the message there. However, people sometimes will read the first, they'll scroll to the bottom, but not read anything else. But then you have a PS. In the PS, you're going to have something else really important and use PS all the time. So if there's something like, hey, you want to PS, I've got a new listing coming up in wherever, you know, if you want to be the first to know, click here or whatever. I don't.
What to put in a newsletter.
I would suggest getting on some different people's newsletters. Like get on the Red Sign team newsletter, get on the Peter Morkel team newsletter, get on of anybody, like anybody you know who has a newsletter, try to get on their newsletter. Normally you get on it by like literally clicking on something that they post and it will register you automatically. And then you can kind of see like what the different teams are, what information they're putting out, and then you can decide how you want to structure yours. There's another guy you can follow. His name is Ricky Caruth. He does a newsletter, and I would get on his too because his newsletter is big. I think that's how you spell his name. He's on social media, but he joined his newsletter. He has a pretty cool setup, and it's been very successful. He's now like a trainer and coach and mentor and stuff, but he still does a lot of he's from Florida. So he has a pretty good thing. Okay. There's so much to go over with social media. But just think of whatever you're doing with social media. This is like basically a 300 and, this thing, don't post and ghost. So we're talking about staying on for an extra 20 minutes to engage. That's what you're going to do. Yeah. And then being consistent with your posting, because otherwise people do feel ghosted. Like, where'd she go? Where'd he go? They were here, now they're gone. Participate in the online communities. Be authentic. Don't be a jack of all trades. Embrace video. Use analytics. Ask for help. You guys, being on video at first was crazy hard. I'm not going to lie. Like getting on the stories, I wanted to like record myself 40 times before and I'm also a bit of a perfectionist. And so it was so hard for me. But guess what? Now, like, I don't even care. Sometimes I'll fix the subtitles, like the captions that pop up, because it hears my voice all weird and has the most bizarre interpretation of what I just said. I guess I don't enunciate enough. Anyway, so sometimes I'll like click on that and I'll fix that, but I just go. Just saying it's only up there for a day. And if it was really, really bad, then just delete it, whatever. Okay. You do want to have some kind of, like, if you are deciding to use Instagram's going to be my main platform, or Facebook's going to be my main platform, or whatever it is, you want to track the analytics and track the posts and see what's engaging. You just go to that professional area dashboard, and it will show you like how many people viewed that video, how long did they stay on it, how did they click. It'll tell you on your stories if they clicked through or if they stayed and watched it. So then you can kind of get an idea and gauge like what people are interested in hearing from you. Sometimes when we think, we get into some of the boring stuff of real estate and we think, we're creating all this value. They just want to know everything. And then really what they want to see is like a Jason Momoa. I don't know. Or I did a Taylor Swift one the other day and I got a ton of hits on that. I was like, okay. But anyway, it's fun to throw out some of that every once in a while. You don't have to worry so much about your board being pretty anymore, like aesthetic. more, it's like the videos and then the engagement there. Okay, some other things that we didn't touch on, because we're kind of like combining two classes. I'm gonna spend literally 5 minutes. Some other ways to lead gen besides social media that are, this would be in our next class, which would be capturing more leads. Any questions first? We get this answered? Yeah. Yep, the same, because people want to identify you easily. So, yeah, I have the same image that I use. We had a bus advertisement a couple years ago, and my hair's like blowing in the wind, and I just kept that. And now I'm like nervous to change it because it's been there on all these different places for a while. So unless I guess I start looking significantly different, I'll keep it for a little bit. For a little bit. Okay. So really, this last one is anyone else? We good? Okay. So some other things to think about and how to get some leads is, I think we talk about prospecting, we talk about lead gen in another class, right? Okay, so some things is just open your mouth. Open your mouth. We're not a secret agent, right? We're putting ourselves out there in a lot of different places. We're asking for referrals. Client referrals, agent to agent referrals, worldwide referrals, business to business referrals. So you can get onto KW has a referral network. If you really want to get into the referral network, you can make money all day by just referring people. Well, you know. Okay, provide value by the app, the KW app, share that with people. There's geographic farming. So there's a whole section in your student workbook. Do you guys all have that, or did you get a PDF of it? If you didn't, ask Molly, and maybe she can send you the PDF version for the student manual, because it does have some, I think, valuable information that you could just even read through and get some info for. But many agents choose to focus their prospecting and marketing efforts in a certain neighborhood. And so you choose a targeted geographical area and you door knock, you drop little items of value off. Every once in a while, you might, market reports in that same neighborhood. But the key with the marketing is, with the the farm, is consistency there. And it's also not going to get you results right away. It will take some time. So I have a friend, Marty. She's actually in our brokerage, but when she first started getting into real estate, she chose to farm a specific area in Eagle Mountain. And it took her 6 or 7 months to finally get a deal from that. But then she ended up getting 10 in her first year just from farming an area. And the first one was like, she just went around and she used to be a baker. And so she made these tiny little cupcakes with a little introduction for herself that said something about baking to real estate or whatever, moving. And she just passed them out to to the whole neighborhood. And that was her first introduction. And then the next month she had another item of value that she dropped off. Think Oriental Trading Company, what's something that, ice cream scoops coming up, that could be something with a little message that you could drop off, right? Or another thing is just a market report. Maybe you're going to go in that neighborhood, knock the doors, and just let everybody know, just give them a little handout with homes that have recently sold in that neighborhood, just to help them be up to date. Even if they're not going to sell, it doesn't matter. My whole thought process whenever I'm doing any kind of lead gen, it doesn't matter if they're wanting to buy today, tomorrow, next year, or 10 years. I'm going to love you forever, right? And so all I'm looking for is to make a contact and to put them into my database, because our database is our business. So when we talk about the email list, that is your database, right? You're feeding them information through to your entire database every month. Now the geo farming, you can knock the doors, introduce yourself, just get to know them, not asking them to sell or buy or to sell a home at all, but just, hey, would you like to be kept up to date on the market in your area? It's always good to know. And if they say, yeah, then you're like, okay, well, can I add you to my newsletter? You know, add them to your newsletter. And then they're now in your database. So that's something you can do. There's a whole, maybe you want to start, you don't have to start with, oh, my niece and nephew, they do this thing last year. They started farming their neighborhood, and they did like some little events for the neighborhood. So one of them was a spring cleanup. So it was donations basically. So we drove around with our trailer and we went through their whole neighborhood. Like they went out and they knocked on everybody's door, gave out a little flyer that said, hey, we're going to be picking up donations from your spring cleanup on X day. And then we went around that Saturday morning with our truck and trailer, and we just threw the bags and everything in. Granted, she did have some like it can't be like major furniture, but like mostly we're looking for like clothes, shoes, small items that we could just easily transfer. And then we took it to the DI and dropped it off. So you can think about little events that you can do for that neighborhood too. And which brings me to another idea, which is events. So at a family reunion, they talked about like there were a few agents on this panel, and most of them did events like every month. Now they don't have to be like huge, grandiose events. It could be as simple as a donation pickup, right? Mother's Day is coming up. Maybe you have like, hey, you get a bunch of flowers from Trader Joe's, and you just have all the moms come by and do a take and make. Make a bouquet and take it. So they'll come by. You've got it all set up with all the different flowers, if that's something you're into. Like something I'm thinking about doing this year for the fathers. We do have a big event in June. It is the Keller Williams Splash, which you can participate in. You have to buy the tickets from whenever they advertise, but we have a night at the Splash Summit, and we invite all of our friends and family. They come down. We don't even talk real estate. Anytime at the event, I rarely talk real estate. It's more of just a thank you. Thank you for supporting me in whatever way that is. It doesn't mean you have to even sell a house. I have some people, or buy a house. I have some people in my network, and they are my sneezers everywhere on social media. Anytime somebody says, who should I buy my house from? They say me. They've never even worked with me ever, but they say me. And so you got to find those people within your network who will do that. And it's crazy. They come from the most random places. Like actually the two ladies I met when my boys played tackle football, and now my boys are like 20 and 18. And my boys played football with their moms, or with their boys and moms. We all became friends, but we don't even hang out outside of football. But they refer me in Saratoga and Eagle Mountain every time that somebody says, do you know a realtor? There they are. So the events, I don't talk about real estate, but so another idea for Father's Day that I'm thinking about maybe doing is like my husband loves to golf. And so maybe it'd be fun to just like pay for like an hour or so or 2 hours of hitting balls at the driving range. Come hit balls for Father's Day at the driving range in Saratoga at Talons Cove or whatever. We just get a bunch of balls, and whoever shows up, they get to hit. I think the guys would like that personally, but I don't know. We'll see if that's something that is good. You could do like a swig. Everybody had to swig for the next hour and mention Amy, and then you get a free drink because you've paid for it. It's on you. That could be like a month thing. You could do like a summer party. You could do an Easter egg hunt. You could do a pumpkin patch. We do a pumpkin patch as the whole brokerage, and that's something you can also buy tickets for in the fall. Let's see. Just think of things that you can do like every month, whether it's big or small. Maybe it's just a pop by, and you're gonna pop by. I don't know. Maybe it's July, and you have sparklers that you buy a ton of sparklers, put a little bow on it, drop it by. Think of a cute saying, and do that for 4th of July or something. I don't know. Anyway, events are great. Pop-bys are great. Let's let's see.
So the dude from a already, and you say you have to engage with them or else they'll die off. You just
Put 'em-
send pictures and
We put them right into your email newsletter. Mhm. So your biggest thing that you're trying to get from people is their phone number and their email and their name. But name, phone number, email. I don't care about anything else because I can look that up. But like I can look up their address on county records, right? But there's also, if you haven't read in the Red Bible, the MREA, there's a section that talks about like, what do I do with somebody who's new into my, so I go knocking doors, right? And I get people into my, first thing I'm gonna do is put them on my email list. I'm gonna send out a welcome email and try to put them into my Nielsen Property Group world. Where can they follow me? Go here, here, here. Thank you so much for joining me. Tell a little bit about your story, right? But then what do? Okay, so in that book, they have a plan. It's called an 8x8 plan. That's what you do with new people who you've never met, who are now into your sphere now. And so you need to come up with like 8 different ways to contact them. It could be 8 different emails. It could be maybe like a deliverable that you drop by with. It could be a recipe card. It could be whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just that they are getting some kind of contact from you for 8 weeks. For us, we do like a combination of emails, a postcard mailer type thing, a phone call, and then at the very end, I drop by with, I have a pizza cutter that I like have like a pizza recipe with a pizza cutter with my logo on it. And it's crazy, but this is like the best pizza cutter ever. I got it from UVU first. And I was like, this is so great. It's like the cheapest looking thing ever. And I keep it in, it's ugly. I don't care, I use it every time. It's like just a little roller and you just go, when we were doing college tours, we got them. So I'm like, I gotta find this. So I just have mine with our logo on it. And I take a nice, thank you so much. So nice to meet you. I'm not even, it's just say hi. Give them a little gift. I'm on my way. And then from there, they get put into the 36 touch plan, which would be the automated plan that you're dropping something to them. Now, part of the automated plan is how many emails that are you going to send out? Are you going to send out 12? Are you going to send out 24? That's part of your 36, right? So I think of all the ways that I can create a touch plan where really I'm doing not just 36, that's like the minimum, right? If you send out an email a week, you're at 48. Now all you're doing is sending an email. But in those emails, eventually you do kind of have to like, you do have to drip some sales things too. Like, you know, maybe you're just telling a story, but at the end, yes, we have this listing or we build for an event. We have a grand opening event or something coming up. We're going to talk about that. Anyway, I don't know if that's helpful. I feel like I just word vomited there at the end. Okay. Any other ideas or things that we can think of?
In regards to all the touches, obviously you're kind of database.
Mhm.
I'm kind of struggling with like track that. What's the best organizational way that you found?
To track the touches and whether they're actually going out. Well, you can create smart plans in Command and it becomes a whole automated plan for you. And that's the best way. So you have everybody in your database and then you set them up with some kind of smart plan for the year. So if they're people who are like passive, they're not looking to buy anytime soon, I'm still going to put them in a plan. You know, another thing that I like to do, this part of my plan is basically what I want you to think about is your client journey. From the moment you met them till forever, how do we lead them on this journey? Through the Nielsen Property Group, I don't know, world, right? What's this journey? Okay, so I'm gonna meet this person. I'm gonna put them in. They don't buy from me right away, so I'm gonna put them on this plan right here, and it's gonna drop this. They get to me, they buy. They're gonna go on a different plan, right? They're gonna go this way if they do this. So you gotta like kind of think about this journey. It's a lot to think about and process, but there are some that are already made for you in Command. I love Kimber Walton's stuff. You can look at in the plans, you can just search Kimber and she has like done a lot for you. So the first one is sometimes called like 10 days of love or 10 days of, I like to say 10 days of love because it's more high vibrational, but other people call it 10 days of pain. I don't want to be a painful experience for my people. I want them to feel the love, right? So that's why I call it that. But anyway, she has all of those plans in there. But maybe at some point down the road, you're like, oh, I want to customize this a little bit more to fit more with my vision and my whatever, then you can. But I would use what we have available first. And I would definitely use Kimber's. Oh, so what was I was going to say, something I'd like to do for people who spot a home from me, every year on their house anniversary, we send them a new market. That's part of the plan, right? So if they bought a home from me, I know when their house anniversary was, and I'll get a notification like a week or so before, and it will tell me, hey, you got to get a market analysis together to send to so-and-so. Then you can either send it through email, or that's something that I like to personally just drop by just to say hi and see how things are going. So then they have every year, they get to know where their home is. I mean, don't you want to know how much your house is worth? Like, even if you're not even going to sell, you want to know at the back of your head, if I had to sell, what could I sell my house for, right? That's always there. I mean, I do it all the time. What would be my net if I sold my house? What can I do next, So I think that's something to, anyway, think about that journey that you want to have. And I have a plan for people who've bought, people who haven't bought, people who I've met, people who I haven't met, my sphere, but everybody's getting the newsletter. And that is part of the automated plan. So that's why it's great to use Command, because you can use their email. Like you can create, and Sarah, there's examples and templates of emails, newsletters in Command too. So you can just pick. I don't know if Kimber has a specific email one, but you can just like go to the email section and just like look at the different templates and see if anything like looks good to you. Or you can build your own in there, how you want it to be.
So Courtney, when you add someone to your database, you put them on Smart Plan right away,
Mhm.
and then after that Smart Plan, after they kind of run their course and you're going to shift them to another one, is that just a manual thing you do, or is that like a trail?
So there's a way in Command to trigger it, you have them in this plan. When that one ends, they go on to another plan. But sometimes you do have to like automatically at the beginning of the year. Sometimes I need to like, for people who've been in the database for a while, I might need to like restart them on the people who are like my sphere that are in there but aren't buying.
Super helpful.
Good. Yeah, I'm glad that you learned something. I feel like I'm all over the place. This is the first time I've taught the social media class, so yeah.
The teaching experience is really.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, if you guys have any questions or need help with anything, you're more than welcome to contact me. My name, again, is Courtney, but you guys, I've used all the markers. My number is 801-230-8278. You can call me, text me, and yeah. Or follow me wherever. I'm getting ready to revamp things. So Coach Darcy has been my coach for the last year, and I've been in design and planning mode for a year. So now we're getting ready to launch. Yeah, I'm going to do a podcast, and I'm part of the podcast. So my podcast episodes, we're going to just video and, talk, but then put them onto the YouTube channel. And then from there, I'll take the little bits and pieces and disseminate through all the other platforms. So I just, take the bits from that and then use it for the week or month.
So cool. Are you shifting your focus at all from real estate sales into more of like education and coaching?
At some point, yes, that's kind of the direction that I want to go, just because it's fun for me. It's a passion of mine. I love teaching. I like helping people succeed and make money. Let's all make money. There's room for all of us. There's enough business out there for all of us. So But yeah, but mostly my business is still sales. So my husband and I, we do residential and commercial, some stuff. Yeah. So. So Ben does mostly the commercial, although I help a lot with that. And then I do mostly the residential, but then he helps on that too. So I don't know. I guess we both take the leads in those areas, but we still help each other. Yeah. So yeah, we've got a retail center listed in Saratoga. So if you know anybody who wants to buy a retail center for an investment, there's one. We've got some land out in Eagle Mountain that we're selling that you can build a office or retail on. It's like right behind, it's in city center behind the Chinese and Mexican restaurant or the Thai restaurant right there on behind it. Yeah, so we've been doing a lot of leases, so helping people find space. So you're familiar with that, having a cookie company. By the way, I think I've had a cookie from this. There is one in Saratoga, and I think I've had one at Springville one because every once in a while I'm down there and I need a drink. It's dangerous. It's dangerous for me. Thank you.
Yes. No, we only own, but our friends are the ones who started. But that's one of theirs still. Oh.